little kids. Put that down. Don't touch that. Don't do like that. Don't be out of balance right there. Don't eat that. You can't eat. No, that's the pig. That's not to eat. Put that down. All right, the monkey brains. Put that. Come on. All right, the shrimp, the lobster. No, they have their function. All right, doing this and doing that and living this type. That's gonna produce this and death and that. What the hell? No. You see, this is why it's so important for us to get back into our right minds and to rule. So we can rule with the righteous, holy, spiritual, healthy way. These heathen nations and our they need us to rule. Because look at the world. If you with this, you part of the problem. It says, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth and say, we have swallowed her up. Got him. Got him. Ha ha. Got him. All right. They got us. They swallowed us up. They say, certainly this is the day that we look for. We have found it. We have seen it. Verse 17, the Lord have done that which he devised. All right. Because we veered off the path of righteousness. Well, here go the consequences. He gave us over into these heathen nations' hands and their ways. He hath fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. He hath thrown down. He thrown us down and have not pitied. And he hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. So our enemies, these heathen nations, are rejoicing over us. And here it is, we talking about the money, car, clothes, the hoes, the lean, the smoking, and the bad bitches, and the real niggas, and the motherfucking, and the shotty, and the Draco, and I pop you in the head, and give me the pills, and the on the block, and the killer nigga, and the wood, I don't care, and even your whatever, the guys in this, whatever, actors and the doctors or what, whatever, just of this world, and whatever. They on top of us. All right? They over us right now. All right? And doing all manner of whatever they want. So it says they rejoice over thee. He has set up the horn of thine adversaries. All right? The horn, the strength of our adversaries. They ruling over us right now. Lying to us, deceiving us. They want us about their way. They want us to go to college. All right? They don't care. College or jail. Either one. Gotcha. All right, gangbanger or in running for congressman. Gotcha. All right, Pookie on the block or Timothy Smith. All right, running for judge. Gotcha. Whether you just regular guy, got a nice, career job, or you actor Denzel Washington. Gotcha. You're getting 40,000 a year, 100,000 a year, $1 million a year, $1 billion a year. Gotcha. You see, if you about this world, gotcha. Our adversary, these heathen nations, they got us, man. It's time to come up out of that, because no matter who all that I just named, they ruling over you in wickedness. You see? Because when we follow our way, check it out. When we follow our way, check it out. And like one of my favorites, Deuteronomy, gotta get it. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments. All right, Moses has taught us, the Israelites, statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess. All right, we were going to go, what land we going to possess? All right, Israel. All right. Or before that, it was called the land of Canaan. That's what we're going to possess, our land. So he said, hey, this is the way that the Most High God is given to us. All right. These are these laws, statutes, and commandments, this wisdom, this righteousness, right? Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. All right. In the sight of the nations, all right, which these heathen got their own ways. But here are your ways that you live in their sight, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Wow. Look at the way that they live. Look at the way that they conduct themselves. Look at the way that they, camaraderie, and they live amongst one another and have love for one another and peaceful and just serene and just amazing royal people. Look at the way that they live. Wow, this is amazing. All right. But of course, their heart goeth back to their innate ways that's in them, the heathens. You see, even though they looked at our way and say, wow, what is it? Wow, look at this. This is commendable. Wow. Look at all that they have. Like, wow. Right? It says, for what nation is there so great that hath God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law? All right? What nation? Only the Israelites. Right? And this way that was given to us, he said that if we keep this way, watch this, in Deuteronomy 28 and 1. All right, this way that he gave to us, that Moses said, hey, I'm giving you these law, statutes, and commandments. This is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. All right, this way, if you go in your land and you keep these ways, it says, Deuteronomy 28 and 1. And it shall come to pass that if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and statutes that I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations on the earth. You're going to be above all nations on the earth if you follow in this way. Don't veer off the path, because if you veer off the path, then they're going to rule over you. You veer off this way, this righteous, divine, spiritual way, you veer off that, all right, they rule over you. You stay on it and exact it, you rule over them. You're above them, and all these blessings shall come upon thee. But if you don't listen to me, don't listen to my way, don't exact that way, you veer off the path, well, then all these curses are going to come upon you. And all these heathen nations, you're going to be plucked off your land. You're going to be scattered amongst all nations. And it says in there, when you get to these other lands, all right, you're going to serve other gods, wood and stone, which neither thou father nor thou has known. And you're going to serve these other nations. You're going to be in subjection to them in the want of all things. You're going to have no ease. And just to read the curses. This is what was going to happen to us. This is a part of our punishment that's happening right now. All right? But he said that we were going to come up out of that punishment, out of this captivity, and the remnant was going to come to their right mind, and then we're ultimately going to be saved. And then the new covenant is that the law, statutes, and commandments, this is going to be written in our minds and our hearts now. All right? We're going to be made perfect. But it took all this to do so. All right? But the point is we've been lied to. All right? They don't want us to be about our way. Because again, it catapults us above them. And then we rule over them. But everybody want to be the champ. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Thing is our way, all right, and the plan of the Most High God, we the champs. We're going to be the champs for forever. All right? But right now, these heathen nations are ruling over us. Right? And right now, the wicked, all right, is in power. And they're still lying to us. Okay? We've been lied to. But here it is. The truth is coming out. All right? So, since this way was going to catapult us, he said, I will set thee on high above all nations. So they understand this. If we doing what's right in the eyes of our Father, they can't beat us. All right? So what do? They plot against us, deceive us, lie to us, beat who we actually are out of us. Now that we saying we the Israelites, nigga, that's the nigga, my cousin the Israelite, but he was them Hebrew Israelite. What is the what religion is? Well, man, that's crazy, man. I'm chasing the bag. Now when we tell the truth, it seems so far foreign and crazy and hateful and all that. They got us, right? Because they want to remain on top of us, and that's why in Psalms 83. That's why in Psalms 83, it says, keep not thy, verse 1, keep not thy silence, O God, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. See, the Most High God was holding his peace. He was giving the wicked its time, all right? And allowing us to be on punishment and go through all these afflictions and be lied to and all that. Now, who the ones that's going to be the just and complain continually to the Lord to hasten that day to return and come get us up out of here, all right? And give us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and put it in our minds and our hearts, all right? And restore the kingdom back to Israel, all right? The Israelites. Restore this earth back to us and us ruling with righteousness, the ways of the Most High God. So keep not thy silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies, these heathen nations, make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thine hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation. You hear that? Let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You see? This is what happened to our people. And when we got plucked off our land and scattered, especially in this dispensation of time, it was the worst. All right. And that's why right here in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 2, it says, hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, us, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And they have rebelled against me. You see, we rebelled against the Most High God and the way that he gave us. We forsook it and veered off the path. It says the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider. My people doth not know. Our people don't know who they are. They cool with, oh, I'm black and I'm proud. Puerto Rican pride, Mexican pride, Native American pride, when that's not who you are. But they want you to be about that culture, about that way, of who you not, of who you ain't, so they can continue to rule over you, so you can continue to be the real niggas and the bad bitches. So you can continue to go to their schools and aspire to be the president. Aspire to be this and that in this world. They want you to be like that. All right? So you don't know who you are, regal, royal, in the royal way. Because there's only one royal way where you're ruling forever. All right? Any other heathenistic way that looks to be royal right now, you're going to see that it's not so royal. All right? Because it's going to be done away with. The Most High is sending our Lord and Savior to take all the crowns, all the power from any mindset that exalts itself above the mindset of the Most High God. All these ways will not remain with power. Right? So, yep, our people doth not know. Why? Because back in this Psalms 83 and 4, they have said, cut them off, let us cut them off from being a nation, from being the Israelites. All right, from knowing their righteous royal way, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. All right, they have consulted together with one consent, all these heathen nations. And who was number one with a bullet? Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom, Esau, Edom, the wicked nation of people. And then it goes on to tell you about other nations that have also conspired, all right, against us. All right, so that they can rule over us, so they can continue to live their heathenistic way. You see, we've been lied to. It's high time to awake out of sleep. High time. All right. Now, in this Judith, all right, Judith in the Apocrypha, all right, chapter 5. Man, it's so good. I didn't want to read the whole thing, but for time's sake, I don't know. But check this out. The Judith chapter 5, verse 1. It says, then it was declared unto Hophernes, all right, a heathen, right, that was ruling over, all right, people, other nations, all right, and even us, right? So it says, then was it declared Hophernes, a heathen, the chief captain of the army of Assur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war, and had shut up the passages of the hill country, and had fortified all the tops of the high hills, and had laid impediments in the Champagne countries, wherewith he was very angry. So this heathen was very angry that, we, the Israelites, had, we was preparing for war against him, right? And called all the princes of Moab and the captains of Ammon and all the governors of the seacoast. And he said unto them, tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who is this people? He's talking about us. Who is this people? These Israelites, who is these people that dwelleth in the hill country? And what are their cities that they inhabit? And what is their multitude of their army? And wherein is their power and strength? And what king is set over them, or captain of their army? And why have they determined not to come and meet me more than all the inhabitants of the West? Because he was ruling in the known world. He was ruling, right? And he's like, why is this people, these Israelites, not coming to, do what I say and pay tribute and bow down and whatever. Why? Right? Because we the Israelites, we the special chosen children. We have our God, right? So he asked him, like, who is this people, right? So then another heathen, it says, then Achor, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, let my Lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people. So he was going to give some history, all right, about who we are, right? It says, which dwelleth near thee and inhabited the hill countries, and there shall no lie come out of my mouth of thy servant. This people are descended from the Chaldeans. So he going way back, you know what I'm saying? All right. Back to Abraham and before even Abraham, right? And so I'm going to jump down. You can read the history. He's going back and saying, hey, this is where they were and this is what they did and woo, wop the bang, right? It says, verse 9, then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourn and go into the land of Canaan, all right, Israel, where they dwelt, and were increased with gold and silver and with very much cattle. But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down to Egypt. All right. And that's when, Jacob, you know what I'm saying? And, the sons, went because it was a land, famine in the land during the time of like Joseph was down in Egypt and stuff. And that's when we went down into Egypt. Right. Verse 11, it says, therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them, right, and dealt subtly with them and brought them low with laboring in brick and made them slaves. And that's why we were in captivity to the ancient Egyptians, right? But then, it says, then they cried unto their God. All right, they, the Israelites, cried unto their God, and he smote the land of Egypt with incurable plagues. All right, we know the story, all right, with Moses and all that. The Egyptians cast them out of their sight. So we left and we went into the wilderness, got the law, statutes, and commandments written, and we were on our way to the land of Canaan, Israel, right? It says, and God dried up the Red Sea before them and brought them to Mount Sinai and this, that, and the other, right? Let's jump down. In verse 16, it says, and when we got to our land, like he told us, he said, hey, smite all them nations that's there, right? And they cast forth before them the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Jebusites, the Sinkamites, the Girgashites, and they dwelt in that country many days, our land, Israel. And while they sinned, now here's the point. And whilst they sin not, so this heathen, all right, is telling this other heathen who's saying, hey, well, who are these Israelites? Who are these people that's not coming to do this and do what I say? And so he's giving them the history, right? So it says, and while they sin not before their God, they prospered. You see, when we followed our ways, we prospered. Because the God that hateth iniquity was with them. He fought our battles. You see, the Most High God is with us when we obey him. All right, when we are about the way, when we're on that path, the righteous path that he gave us. But if we veer off, well, he not with us no more, right? It says, but, verse 18, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs, and their temple and the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. All right, this is what happened to us. All right, why? Because we departed from the way which he appointed us. All right, this is what happened when we're about a heathenistic way, when we're about a way of this world, then the Lord not with us. All right, he's silent. He allowing all these things to happen to us. Our fault, right? It says, but now are they returned to their God. All right, so we have an example of what happens when we return, all right, to our God, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it is desolate. Verse 20. Now he's telling this about the Israelites, right? And so again, one heathen telling another heathen, now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But, he said, but, my Lord, let me tell you something. Verse 21, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, all right, the nation of Israel, the Israelites, if there be no iniquity in them, let my Lord now pass by. He said, like dude said, leave these good people alone. Leave these people. You want some of this old man? No. Leave these good people alone. What's wrong with you? Messing with these good people. He said, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. And when Achor had finished these sayings, all the people standing round about the tent murmured, and the chief men of Hophernes and all that dwelt by the seaside in Moab spake that they should kill him. All right, because he was telling the truth. He was like, man, hey, if these people are sinning and they doing wrong, hey, that's they ruin. Hey, let us go up. We gonna take them. We got them. But if they doing what's right, leave these good people alone. Leave them alone. At least they God defend them. And I tell you, you ever heard of Alashadya? I'm trying to tell you, man. If they doing what's good, what's right in the eyes of their God, if they're following their way that was given to them, that was appointed to them, leave these people alone. Leave them alone. I don't want, please. You go ahead. I'm gone. Leave them alone, right? So this is what's the deal. This is why we've been lied to. This is why they want us to be all about the ways of this world, a mindset of this world, a religion and philosophy of this world. All right? This is why they want us to be about it, so they can continue to rule over us, oppress us, we the peasants, and serving them and building up their stuff. You see? So they plot, all right? They plot against us. All right? They scheme and lie. Right? We've been lied to, y'all. Right? It says in this 2nd Esdras 6:57, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. You see? And lie to us. Okay? That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, and the way that was appointed unto us, the way of righteousness, may be no more in remembrance. So they can continue to rule over us, and we be the peasants. We be the servants. You see? So they lied to us with good reason. All right? But ultimately, all right? Ultimately, the remnant is going to return, all right? And the Lord is going to come save us. All right? And then we're going to be purified and perfected with the law, statutes, and commandments written in our minds and our hearts. What's this? Let's go to Psalm 62. Psalm 62. Psalm 62 and 10. Right. It says, trust not in oppression. You see, trust not in oppression. The Bible tells us trust not in oppression. We are being oppressed to this very day by our oppressors. They ain't trying to vote with them, trying to follow their ways, their customs, their religions. All right. If you voting, you trust in the oppressor. All right. You trust in the oppressor's ways, and you remain a peasant. You remain a servant. You remain a slave. You don't have a ruling class mentality. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Because right now, this present temporal evil world, this is not our portion. This is not our rest. All right. Our portion is in the eternal world to come. That's going to be right here on the earth. All right. We just have to go through what we have to go through right now. All right. Trust not in oppression. Because verse 4, it says, Psalm 62 and 4, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. You see, they bless with their mouth. They tell you sweet little lies. Do as thou wilt. Love, love. Peace, peace. Love is love. Do what you want. All right. Obey your thirst. Get you a bucket list. All right. Here, you can vote now. Vote. Rock the vote. All right. They do all these things. Oh, school. They come in, peace, love, man, get you a pursuit of happiness. Right? This is what they tell us. All right? This is Sirach, chapter 12, verse Sirach 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You see, never trust thine enemy. Okay? Because verse 16, it says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. And this is what they're doing. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. It says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. This is what they have done. All right, look up the definition of undermine. All right, this is what they have done. All right, this is a part of the plot. All right, and when you depart, all right, from evil, the scripture says you make yourself a prey. All right, to those that still love this world. All right, those who didn't get the memo. All right, you make yourself a prey. And that's why he said, hey, ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, for the word of God's sake, for the truth's sake, and you believing in the truth. All right, you having faith in the truth. You're going to make yourself a prey. All right. And those that's of this world are the predators. Okay. This is Isaiah 59:15. It says, yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil, all right, you depart your mind from this present temporal